This is a latest horror movie from Indonesia, released in the year 2024. The movie is based on famous Southeast Asian ghost stories. It is a rare and high-quality horror film that you should definitely watch with your friends. Now let us start the story. At the beginning of the story, Bimo is appointed as a teacher in a very remote mountain village. His wife Lise does not want her husband to suffer alone, so she decides to go with him. However, something unexpected happens on the way to the village. Suddenly, a red light flashes outside the car window and scares Lise badly. When she looks around, she notices that no one else in the car saw anything strange. She thinks maybe she is just tired and imagining things. But when Lise looks at her husband, she sees a human head floating outside the car window. Before she can react, the head disappears. Just when Lise is still shocked, the head comes back again and appears right in front of her. After it vanishes once more, Lise realizes that this was not an illusion. She quickly tries to wake her husband, but to her shock, she suddenly finds herself completely alone inside the car. Thinking about the flying human head, Lise starts feeling sick. She asks the driver to stop the car and runs outside to vomit. Seeing this, Bimo gets out of the car and gives his wife a bottle of water. He honestly tells her that he does not want her to suffer with him in the mountains. Just as he is about to convince her to leave, strange sounds come from the forest. Suddenly, a coffin slides out from between the trees. Everyone gets terrified and quickly gets back into the car to escape. But something strange happens. The car refuses to start. As the coffin slowly crashes toward them, the driver suddenly remembers something. He asks Bimo if he has sticky rice or eggs. Bimo immediately takes out a bag of boiled eggs from his bag. The driver throws the eggs near the coffin, and instantly the car starts. After they leave, the coffin opens slightly by itself. An invisible hand takes away the eggs. The next morning, the driver takes the couple to a small town for breakfast. He tells them that what they saw last night was called a flying coffin. According to local customs, dead bodies are not buried underground. Instead, they are left in forests or placed on trees. Over time, some coffins become affected by dark magic. Because of this, they start coming out to look for food. When Bimo refuses to believe this, the driver warns him again. He tells him that the place where he will teach is a small island. It is the strictest place in the entire area when it comes to customs and rules. If anyone breaks these rules, they may face punishment or even death. After finishing breakfast, they meet the village head who comes to take them to the island. Once the couple reaches the shore by boat, the village head only points toward the school and quickly leaves. Although the couple feels confused, they do not think too much about it. But while passing through a forest, they see many flying coffins hanging from the trees. Terrified, they start running. Luckily, after crossing the forest, they finally reach the school. The school principal warmly welcomes them and shows them the living quarters provided by the school. Seeing the broken and old hut, the principal feels very sorry. He explains that a flood recently hit the island. Many people died, and the village power system was badly damaged. Because of this, supplies are limited, and teachers are very rare. During dinner, the principal suggests that Lise should also teach at the school, even though she has no teaching experience. In the entire school, apart from Bimo, there was only one more teacher left, a language teacher named Ajen. Seeing this situation, Lise had no choice but to agree to teach. At that moment, the principal suddenly remembered something important. He explained that the village had an unwritten rule. Every time after finishing a meal, the leftover food must be thrown outside the house. This was done to thank nature for its blessings. If someone did not follow this rule, bad luck would come to them. However, the husband and wife were well educated, so they did not really believe in such things. When Bimo went to see the principal off, Lise was washing dishes in the room. Suddenly, she saw a pear fall onto the floor. She picked it up without thinking much, but she did not notice that a ghostly face had appeared outside the window. Even stranger things happened at midnight. An old woman came without being invited. She stood stiffly at the door of the dormitory, just like a ghost. She almost scared the couple to death. However, the old woman seemed completely unaware of their fear. She walked straight toward Lise. Then she stretched her old arm toward Lise's stomach and started chanting strange words, as if she was performing some kind of ritual. After finishing, she turned around and left without saying a single word. The frightened couple told the principal about everything the next morning. The principal told Bimo that the old woman's name was Tambi. She was the village witch. Because of her strange temper, people did not like her, so she lived outside the village. The principal added that although Tambi behaved oddly, she had a kind heart and had never harmed anyone. He comforted Bimo and told him not to worry. Later, the principal took the couple to meet the students. After the terrible terrible flood, only 7 students were left in the entire school. Even so, the children had a very good learning atmosphere and warmly welcomed the 2 new teachers. But something unexpected happened to Lise. On his very first class, he saw that the classroom, which originally had only 3 students, was now filled with children with purple-blue faces. Their eyes looked lifeless, and they kept whispering Lise's name again and again. Suddenly, a loud voice from a male student pulled Lise back to reality. When he looked again, there were still only 3 students sitting in front of him. Lise felt a deep fear inside his heart. When he looked outside the window, he noticed Tambi standing at a distance, staring at him. This made Lise start to wonder whether everything he had just seen was somehow connected to Tambi. After returning home, Lise immediately told his husband about what had happened in class, but Bimo believed that his wife was simply too tired and was having hallucinations. What he did not know was that just after he left the house, Lise noticed a shadow behind the curtain. At first, Lise thought his husband was hiding there to scare him, but when he pulled the curtain aside, he saw that the window was tightly closed, and there was no one there at all. After the couple arrived in the village, strange and suspicious events kept happening one after another. One day, during a normal class, a female student named Mayang was suddenly found hanging from the ceiling. Her entire body was covered in blood. When Bimo and the principal rushed into the classroom, they saw that Mayang looked as if she had been forcefully dragged into the ceiling. The teachers quickly stacked desks together and helped Bimo climb up to look for Mayang. As soon as Bimo pushed his head into the ceiling, a terrible rotten smell hit his nose. What shocked him even more was that Mayang had completely disappeared. At that moment, he heard footsteps behind him. Bimo quickly turned around and saw Mayang rushing toward him with her mouth full of blood. Bimo slipped in fear and almost fell down. Immediately after that, a terrifying scream came from the next classroom. It turned out that Mayang had instantly moved to Lisa's classroom. Now she was pointing at Lisa's stomach and slowly stepping closer to him. Strangely, Mayang also fainted and fell to the ground. At that moment, Bimo finally broke open the classroom door and quickly carried his unconscious wife back home. When night came, Bimo was placing an oil lamp in the kitchen. Suddenly, a strong wind blew open the tightly closed window. Lise woke up in shock. He tried to close the window again, but suddenly something unexpected happened. He saw a flying human head with a heart hanging from it, coming straight toward him from outside the window. Lise screamed loudly in fear. Early the next morning, school colleagues came to inform Bimo and his wife. Because last night's incident scared the children, the principal decided to close the school for one day. After some hesitation, Bimo told them about how his wife had seen a ghost the previous night. Surprisingly, the colleague had heard about such flying heads before. Locally, people called this creature a half-body ghost, which was considered a bad omen. The colleague then took the couple to the village chief's house. There they learned that a famous and true witch named Mina had been staying at the village chief's home recently. When Mina saw Lise, she gently held his hand and explained why he had been constantly troubled by ghosts lately. When Bimo found out that his wife was pregnant, he was very happy. However, he quickly noticed that the other villagers looked worried. After Mina's explanation, Bimo and Lise learned that a prophecy had been passed down in the village for a long time. It said that a pregnant outsider would help an evil person become a real demon. According to the prophecy, Lise was that woman. As for the evil person, it was Tanbi, who also knew witchcraft. To stop the prophecy from coming true, Mina decided that Lise should drink a special salt water to prevent Tanbi from using him. But as soon as Lise heard this, he collapsed and fainted on the ground. Dark clouds quickly filled the sky. While everyone was confused, Lise suddenly let out a painful scream. His entire face turned an eerie gray color. It was clear that he had been possessed by a demon again. Fortunately, the demon was not very strong this time. Everyone quickly worked together to restrain Lise and forced him to drink a bowl of salt water. Only then did Lise return to normal. To stop Tanbi from harming others, the villagers immediately took torches and went to Tanbi's house. However, they found the place completely empty. It was clear that the old couple had sensed danger and escaped early. Bimo did not want his wife and unborn child to be used by others. He decided to pack up and leave this dangerous place overnight, but his colleague Ajen told him that the boatmen never sailed at night and they could only leave the next morning. To help the couple survive the night safely, Ajen set up an exorcism barrier nearby. Although Ajen was not a professional witch, the half-body ghost had once killed his wife and child and left behind a strand of hair. Since then, Ajen had taught himself many ways to fight the half-body ghost. Sure enough, not long after the barrier was set up, Bimo's house was attacked repeatedly by the half-body ghost. When the creature realized it could not enter the house, it let out an angry scream and left. Unexpectedly, Early the next morning, something shocking happened. A fire broke out at the island's dock and burned the small boat. Seeing that the only way out of the village was destroyed, Baimo was left helpless and speechless. Just then, many villagers suddenly screamed in pain. It was clear that someone was using witchcraft to harm people. Immediately after that, Baimo was shocked to discover that his wife had disappeared in front of everyone's eyes. Panicked, Baimo searched everywhere, but found nothing. At that moment, he met Maya, the little girl who had been possessed by the demon a few days ago. The girl pointed towards the nearby forest. When Baimo went there, he indeed found his wife's scarf nearby. To find his wife, he had to seek help from Mina. Mina performed a ritual on the spot, and soon a wisp of blue smoke guided Baimo. Following it, he found his unconscious wife under an old tree. To help Lisi wake up quickly, Baimo followed Mina's advice and took her inside for treatment. After discussion, the others decided that for the safety of the whole village, they must work together to defeat Tanbi. Quickly, Baimo, led by the village chief, went to the old hideout where Tanbi might be hiding. But when they found the Tanbi couple and were about to act, Tanbi simply raised a finger, and all three of them were frozen in place, unable to move. At that moment, the old man Arong told them they had all been tricked. Tanbi had actually been protecting Lisi. The real threat to her was Mina. Sure enough, Mina was trying to extract the fetus from Lisi's womb, but she didn't realize that Tanbi had placed a protective barrier on Lisi's abdomen from their very first meeting. Mina quickly broke it using her own powers. Seeing this, Tanbi revealed his identity and, in front of Baimo and the others, used the half-body ghost technique, a powerful energy-filled headshot straight towards Mina. Baimo and the others chased after it, but when they arrived, Mina had already escaped. At that moment, a Jen took out the hair of the person who had killed his wife and children. Since everything was Mina's doing, this hair would lead them to her location. Following the hair, Baimo went into the forest, but he didn't realize that Mina, sensing the hair, knew he was coming. Half-body ghost, Mina silently approached Baimo and suddenly attacked him. Baimo, being just human, couldn't match the half-body ghost. Fortunately, Tanbi's half-body ghost arrived in time and saved him. Under Tanbi's protection, Baimo took the opportunity to continue searching for Mina's body. If he could destroy her body completely, while she used the half-body ghost technique, Mina would die instantly. Soon, he found Mina's headless body in a cemetery, but to his surprise, she had some zombies nearby guarding it. With great effort, Baimo dragged her body to a burning house and, without hesitation, threw it into the fire. Angered by the damage to her body, Mina exploded with incredible power, instantly defeating Tanbi's half-body ghost. But when she charged at Baimo, her body was already burned, and she collapsed. Seeing the dying Mina, Baimo showed no mercy. He picked up a stone and smashed her heart, ensuring she could never live again. To repay everyone for saving their lives, Baimo and Lisi decided to stay and continue teaching. Okay, that's the end of today's story. See you in the next episode.